So whoever joins late. Hi. So, Raul, thank you for being here with us. So, welcome to our webinar on building a high
No problem.
performance culture. So, we are looking at this topic, which is so important because, as Maxwell always says, if you want to go far, walk by yourself. But if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, you have to walk with others. And so when you have others, which in the context of business is your team, then we have to make sure that we build a high performance culture. So we'll be looking today at this very important topic. So company culture, it's, when you put it all together, it's a synthesis of our values, our vision, our mission, and that wonderful word called purpose. And that sits at the center of any successful business. So it is the cohesive atmosphere, when you're about culture that permeates a company. When you walk into it, you feel it. And it directly affects the way people work within that company. I always give the example of when I used to work with Air Jamaica, which was a government entity. And then when I walked through the doorway of Citibank, any full service branch of Citibank, New York, sitting on local soil. And when I walked through those doors in 1992, the word I say is that when I walked in, the culture of that company shaped me. Different culture from the government institution I was working with. And so it affects the way the people work, what is expected. So it's not something that can be fabricated, when one is lacking. As no amount of, people think, okay, to get the company culture, let me fling some more money at people, let me put in cool furniture or a hip employee, nice looking people, how their vibe will create the culture. It's more than that. And it is one of the most important things if you are going to build your business to get right in order to become a successful company. When I first started Action Coach or Broad Action Coach here in Jamaica, people used to say that one of their biggest challenges was, money, sales, cash flow, all of that. But, even though that is still an issue, the thing I hear all the time is team, getting people to work together. And, when I do team alignments, or we ask for feedback from the team in the company, you hear a lot of feedback in the areas of the behaviors that we need to work on. And the three things that come up all the time is we need to communicate better. We need to show respect to each other and how we work together as a team. So communication, respect, teamwork, always is a big issue. So a strong internal culture is necessary to create a strong and lasting brand. You cannot do it. So today is about looking at what it takes to actually get there. So when you talk about culture, one of the first things you have to ask yourself is, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? So what your company is and all about and what it stands for is as important to your business as the products or services you sell. But yet, when I go to coach a company and I ask you, what is your vision, your mission, your purpose, and your core values? You have any? No. So you just have people then who are coming in to help you to sell the products and the services. And so that is kind of what is happening. They come in to sell the product or the services. And the moment you come in, you give them the brochure and you give them the fact sheet and you say to them, all right, go sell. So it's more important when you have a team. That's why that whole induction process is important, is to what identify first of all what it is that you stand for at your core. It is essential to how you live and perform. Identifying that is crucial. So, in short, it is your company's values, and for small businesses, a very important thing is a value as well of the leader. So, identifying that is crucial. It is your company's values, which is usually a reflection in the beginning of your core values as a leader, and then getting to the heart of those values means everything for your business. So you have to formulate them. You have to decide on what they are. What do you stand for? Those are your values. We kind of over the years have taken the values of, okay, you're under a mother house or roof or whatever. Religion may have indicated or helped to decide what your values are, life experiences, people in the community, other things. But you have to be clear on what you stand for and what your company stands for, because it determines the heart of the everything that you do. So importantly is in the business world, we have to recognize, and that's happening right now, is things move fast. I don't think we have seen things move so fast and change so quickly since COVID. And it's often so fast that people don't even stop to reflect on what your business is becoming. This is mostly due to the mindset that, the workflow is considered and very important. Everybody is focusing on performance, just hitting numbers, hitting goals, but never taking that moment where we actually sit and assess. When I first started, this is who we are, but who have we become now? What have we become? I don't even know. But we need to take that moment, because not taking it means that many businesses end up operating in this continuous loop. And what I mean by that is making the same mistakes again and again. Hire the people, I have to fire the people. I hire again, I keep, and it just, boy, coach, I'm tired of it. It just keep going on and on. I can't get good people. So we make the same mistakes again and again, working blind to the change and the evolution that is taking place. So a company shift from just focusing on performance, which is the numbers and the outcomes, to its purpose. So it's not that you don't forget the numbers, but shifting to also remember its purpose and remembering why we exist in the first place can make all the difference in how people are hired, how people work, and how the company performs. So one of the things I always say is when you're hiring, that people must know what they're joining to ensure that their values, what they stand for, aligns with yours, and there's a fit. So looking at why the company does what it does, and not just focusing on what it does or how it does what it does. So the why, you notice the WHY. Simon Sinek, in his book, Start with the Why, says that's exactly what we must do. Start with the why. When I brought Action Coach to Jamaica in 2010, when I saw that vision, Jamaica abundance through business re-education, core purpose of coaching every business, when I saw the mission, the 14 points of culture, I knew that what this company stood for, I wanted to be a part of. And I knew it would be able to help us in Jamaica. So I aligned with the why. So although the global vision for Action Coach is world abundance through business re-education, I owned my piece of the world, Jamaica abundance, through business re-education. And anybody who joins my team knows that's the purpose. That's the why. So it's not just focusing on the what we do or the how we do it, which is what most leaders are focusing on, and never sharing or even stopping to think about why are we doing what we're doing. When I ask people why you started business, because I want to make money. I didn't want to continue to work for somebody else. I want to have a financial future. I said, why do you exist? What is the purpose? So we need to get clear on that, because the why we do what we do, why the company does what it does, creates the starting point for developing or fostering a great culture. We have to be clear on that. So finding your company's why allows you to start working on identifying your values. Because, when I looked at world abundance through re-education, one of the values I believed in I've been searching for a way. I'd left my job at Citibank because I wanted to make an impact in Jamaica. I wanted to make a difference. Oprah Winfrey says you have your 6 words, and mine are fulfilling my purpose, creating my legacy. I must live a life of impact and significance, not about creating only for wealth, impact and significance. Those are the values. So values are at the heart of the decisions we make, and they influence behavior and attitude. And that's why I say, if you don't have any core values, then everybody just come with their own, and your organization become a melting pot of everybody's own values. Thus, when you define the values, as Brad did, Brad Sugar is a founder of Action Coach, then they attract people that align with those values. That's what happened. When I clicked on that Google ad in 2010 and saw it and did my research, as anybody who is joining your company should do, the vision, the mission, and the values, how we live together, how we must work together, what we're all about, attracted me. So your values, when you define them, must attract people that align with those values too. Sometimes we hear people say, why do people, I don't understand the things that them believe in, them values don't align with mine. But the thing is, you didn't say and haven't defined and shared with the people joining or the people existing what the values are. So they attract people when you define them that align with those values, and including people who are, the word is positive, committed, and energized by their work, because they want to join you on this journey. Their values align. So ultimately, it creates a culture breeding. Let me repeat that. A culture breeding chain reaction that filters right down to the customer. And here's why. Values help to build the culture. This is how we do what we do here. At Zappos.com, they're in Las Vegas. They're known as a culture company. And they say deliver wow through service. You notice the values, deliver wow, an amazing experience through what? Service. And when you look at their values, they have 10. You must go on their website and look at them. So the values, and when you join in that company, they make sure you have like 4 interview and or 4 or 5, and they share what the values are. And in that induction period, when you join, they're looking to see. It's not, you said certain things in the interview, but they start to look to see, do you live those values? Do you live those values and truly share them? And if they find, what you said don't fit with what you do, then they come to you and they say, listen, I don't think this is the right fit for us. And they give you $3,000 to go and find another job. Why? Because they know that values help to build culture, and culture helps employees continue to feel motivated. Employee motivation is a driving factor for customer satisfaction. I always say, when you're hiring, which is one of the most important things, many of us go off and think writing the flyer and writing the ad and doing all of that and choosing the furniture and how we look and how the, sorry, Raul, how the banner look or the side look. Let me tell you something. You could have all of that up and you hire the wrong people. Because companies don't succeed, people do. So one of the things to make sure is that we hire self-motivated people. So the hiring of the right fit for your company is a priority. And one of them is making sure that we hire self-motivated people. So employee motivation is a driving factor for customer satisfaction. And part of that motivation is people with values that want to achieve more, to do more. And not only that, if you have customer satisfaction, then customer satisfaction builds revenue and profit. So I want us to look at a video to, if you don't understand what values are, and understanding this when you watch this video, that values are not something that are on the wall, but values are things that we live. Okay, so you notice it says walk the talk. Now, one of the things I also want to point out, folks, is that walking the talk starts with us first as leaders. You know, there's a saying that says, "Boy, I can't hear what you say. I can't hear what you're saying because what you are doing is speaking so loudly." So we're saying one thing and we're doing another. And you need to understand, just like children, it's not what you say, what they observe is what they learn from. So whenever we talk about core values, that's why I start off first with why you started the business. What are your values? Because you also have to model them. So leadership is leading with integrity. So we have to make sure that we walk the talk and we define what are the values. That when you join this company here, just like your mother said, when you come under my roof, you live by my rules. The culture are your rules of the game. For when you join, we are on this team. You're joining a team. And we're building a strong brand. And the culture is important. That's what Zappos knows. So we need to make sure that we define them and we walk by them. Now, since the culture of a company is a reflection of its values, it is the culture that is responsible for many aspects of the performance. I mean, people may say, culture, core values, that's the soft stuff, man. We need to make sales, but you don't understand this. It is the culture that is responsible for many aspects of the actual performance and the output of a company. So when you're struggling and why they're not making sales, why they're not doing this, how they speak to the customer, how them cause, because I'm going to tell you, as Bradriga says, the purpose of our business is to profitably create raving fans. And the raving fans comes from immense delighted people with the service that they get from the people who work in your company. And if the people in your company do not collaborate, communicate, show respect, and work well together, then don't expect any performance and output. So with a strong culture, it means we also get better job retention. People aren't leaving every minute, or you having to ask them to leave. If employees have a sense of belonging, which means, why, something, this place align with what I believe in. I like what we do because guess what? I see the impact it is having. If they have that sense of belonging, because on the team, they feel 100% included. They feel the team members have their back. They are respected. If they have that sense of belonging, then they're more apt to want to stay. And I'm going to tell you, especially for the Gen Zs. Gen Zs are not necessarily loyal. These are born after 1995. This is the largest growing population on the planet. They need to be spoken to. They need feedback. They need to know the why. It's not like the baby boomers who, when you say jump and they ask you how high, baby boomers, when you ask the Gen Zs jump, they're going to say to you, why? Why? That WHY is important. So once they feel a sense of belonging and they like how everybody collaborate on what we're about, because they need to know why and how I play a part in achieving the why, then they're more apt to want to stay. Your culture is also the checks and balances. Here we don't gossip. Here we don't do this. Here we treat everybody with respect. Here is professionalism, integrity. teamwork, collaboration. Hiring is based on the company's values. And that is why we're making mistakes. Because when we're hiring, we don't have no values set out yet. We therefore don't know how to. So all we're doing is going through the resume and going, all right, so you have 10 CXC and you have this. In the interview, it is about who you are. Your resume tell you all the skills and the education. What I need to find out in that interview when I'm hiring is who are you? Your attitude, how you think, what you stand for, what are your values? Does it align with ours? So hiring is based on the company's values, and the training and fostering of new employees are driven by the company's culture. So a strong culture is created by the energy and the motivation of valued employees. Let me repeat that. A strong culture is created by the energy and the motivation of valued employees. I'm a John Maxwell team coach as well. I was certified in 2016. And I remember when we were in Orlando and John Maxwell was doing the session, the opening session. And there were like 3,500 of us in the room from various countries around the world. And John said to us, before we start, I want to show you the 5 doors that are there, huge doors, because to get people into that room, you have to be able to do it very efficiently. And doors are branded with different colors. And he says, I want to ask you a question. Do you love people? There are leaders in the room. We're all leaders. Some to become coaches, some doing the certification to lead their people. And he says, do you love and value people? Because if he says, if you don't, I'm going to ask you to just go through any of the 5 doors, and outside waiting are my team members who will give you a full refund so you can go. Because here in John Maxwell team, we are people of value who value people. So a strong culture is created by the energy and motivation of valued employees, and they are valued by the leaders in that company, and they value each other. When people don't feel valued, they're not going to perform. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be engaged, and they're going to leave. I want you to also to remember this. People give you 25% of their effort, which is mandatory, just enough to keep the job. The other 75% of their effort is voluntary. And they're going to give that because they feel valued, they feel cared for, they like and respect their leaders, and feel valued and respected by their team. So all of that is how we live and work together. So performance, which is what we're all looking for, more revenues, more sales, make the product, blah, blah, blah. Performance is the result of all of those things. Valued people working together, collaborating, innovating, giving their 100%. So if you employ people who are excited about what they do and believe in what they do, then you will experience higher performance rates. Let me repeat that. If you employ people who are excited about what they do because you shared it with them in the alignment, they come here, they see this culture that exists, and they believe in what they do because you told them the why, what is the purpose, why are we all here, what are we building, then you will experience higher performance rates of culture drive performance. And why? Because all your team members will be working towards one goal with your company, the vision of the business. Working toward that one goal with your company's values at the core of their motivations. This is what we are about. And this is how we do it. I want to play you a video of a company. And when you look at it, what is it? Is it that we force the people to do these things? Let's just watch this video.
In the world I live in today, I feel very strongly that culture is more powerful than strategy. As we head towards recovery, far too many organizations are obsessed with strategy. And when I say culture, I mean the way we get things done around here. A couple of weeks ago, I traveled to LA, to the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. And you know, the best hotels in the world, what they do brilliantly is they make the check-in process just disappear. So I'm coming in with my bags, I'm really tired, I know I've got a board rehearsal in 2 hours. And all that's on my mind is we're rehearsing in 2 hours. Somehow the doorman takes my bags and probably sees a luggage tag, and before I know it, I get to the desk and to just sign here, welcome back to Beverly Wilshire Hotel, Mr. Carroll. Well, it stunned me, because I've never stayed at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. I said, well, I'm very sorry, I've never stayed here. And she went click, 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 click on the thing. She said, June 1988. You were with a group of 12 from Marks and Spencer, who I happened to be working for at the time. Now that just knocked me out. And I said, you know what, that's what I call service. And she said, you're so pleased, you look so pleased, I'm going to upgrade you to a suite. So I'm winning. I go upstairs to my suite and I'm going to have a shower, get changed and go and moderate this board rehearsal. But before I do, I tweet. I just tweeted the experience to the very few people that follow me. I said, that's what I call service. Jumped in the shower, came out. As I picked up my iPhone, there's a tweet back. It's from Ben Dodds, General Manager, Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Thank you ever so much for that fabulous comment. In fact, I'll come and find you and thank you in person. I thought, I've never seen that happen before, where you tweet something into the ether and an organization is so agile, so focused on the customer, so customer-centric. I disappear to our rehearsal. We're an hour in and I call a 5-minute natural break. Can we change the black coffees? Can we change the water? The hotel staff come in their black uniforms with Beverly Wilshire Hotel on the front, and they change away, and someone takes my black coffee and he puts a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne in front of me. I said, I'm really sorry, thanks for the offer, but I just wanted a black coffee. He said, Ben Dodds, General Manager, Beverly Wilshire Hotel, thank you so much for the tweet this morning. Now, that just does it. Is that culture? Is that training? Is that process? Is that procedure? Is that KPI? It's culture. The epilogue to this is that by the time I get back to London, I've got a ton of tweets coming through commenting about this. And there's one guy who comments, he says, I've been staying at the same hotel in London for the last 6 years. Every week for the last 6 years, I turn up on a Monday to the same hotel. I get a slightly different experience. They ask me every Monday, have you stayed here before, sir? Culture.
Absolutely, culture, where it's just the way we do things here. So how do we create culture? One challenge when aiming to create this high performance company culture might be the already ingrained behaviors and processes that have carried the company up to the point of necessary change. Because now you reach the point where, listen, mom, I don't know what else to do. I'm tired of this. But guess what? I said the ingrained behavior and the way we have done things. So to make that happen, a leader must be able to inspire employees into action. Remember I said 75% of it is voluntary of their effort, 25% is mandatory. They're just enough to keep the job. So we have to inspire them to take action. The proposed changes must be clear. So once you get to this point, okay, now folks, We can't continue like this. So whatever changes we're going to make must be clear and well considered. And the entire company must be involved. So that's when you do things like a team alignment. I have a business owner, I'm going to do her team alignment now because she's pulling her hair out at this stage. And there together, we're going to formulate with the team the values that we're all going to agree to realign with our purpose of that business. So keep in mind that sudden changes can be perceived as negative. It is a leader's responsibility not to make it an attack on the past. So while we may be thinking about all the things that have happened in the past and how it didn't serve us well, when you're going to change this culture, it's not to look on the past and continue to beat it down, but instead, we're going to be looking at it. The changes that we're making should be presented as a step into the future. And the future of what? That's where you realign people with the why. Remind them of the core purpose. And in many instances, they never knew before because you never came up with it. You never said it, never shared it, didn't have one. So you have to go through that self-reflection. You have to go through that. Why did I start this business? I always say, the why. I give the story of 3 block makers, and we go to the first one. And the first block maker, you ask him what me doing. Well, me just earn a money, You go to the second block maker, what you doing, man? I just here every day, it's a job. And you go to the third person and you ask him, what are you doing? And he looks at you, twinkle in his eye, and he says, I am building a cathedral. He knows that every day his only role is to make blocks. But he has seen the envisioned future. The leader has said that while I have you all here on the team and every one of you is important, what we are building is a beautiful cathedral. And that block maker knows that every day that he comes there, his blocks are a part of building that amazing cathedral. And he knows how it looks. What have we said it is that the future looks like? So when we talk about the changes that we're going to make, it's not to beat upon the past, but instead it should be presented as, and these are the steps, guys. These are the things. This is how we need to be and do in order to have that envisioned future, the why we're all here. And the only way that we can get there is with the help of you guys, my team. Because you alone can't make all the blocks to build that the cathedral. So remember I said, if we want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, then walk with others. And so you have to inspire them with what we are building and why. So in a high performance culture, there must be open, fluid lines of communication. The flow of information. Some people may ask you, how much meeting you have? Well, yeah, maybe we meet quarterly. How information gets? Do you have meetings weekly? Do you meet with your people individually? What you do? How you communicate? So we need to have open, fluid lines of communication because the flow of information must be constant and free. So I have team huddles and we have team meetings. It must be constant and consistent and freely communicate where people feel that they can share. From top leadership on down to the entry-level worker, all levels of communication. And an open line of communication is important for a team dynamic to thrive. Remember what I said, when we go and let me tell you, action coaches around the world, every time we go to align a team and we ask for feedback, what are the things we need to work on? Remember what I said the three things are? How we communicate, respect, and teamwork. We can't work together if we don't communicate. And if you don't respect me, my communication with you is going to stop. So an open line of communication is important for a team dynamic to thrive. As an informed employee makes the best company ambassador. You need to share why you're doing what you're doing. So as a leader, you want to make sure that the internal communication, we're busy out there talk about how the company must look, build a website, talk to the customer. We don't realize that the role of a leader in the cycle of business, Rod, you know this one by heart, is the leader supports the team. The team supports the customer, and the customer who is satisfied with a great service from the team keeps buying again and again. So the internal communication, you notice where it starts first with the team members to ensure that those messages are getting out. Whatever messages you need to communicate, you have to ask yourself 3 questions, write them on. Has everybody been informed? Whatever changes, whatever you plan to do, have I informed everyone? Is this information important to build stronger teams? And will this information affect jobs? When employees feel that they're informed, they don't want to feel, especially during COVID, you know, that was a hard part because you had to communicate even more in COVID than ever before because people were virtual. They were not in your space. So when employees feel that they're informed, they are more likely to stay engaged in the work at hand. Nikisha Reynolds writes, it's a relationship, absolutely. We're building the relationship with the customer, and we forget that there are a number of relationships in a business: relationship with team, relationship with customers, relationships with suppliers and stakeholders. It's a relationship, and all relationship, Nikisha says, thrives on communication, respect, and teamwork. Love, she writes it. One hand cannot clap. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you very much, Nikisha. When employees feel that they're informed, they're more likely to stay engaged in the work at hand. You know, I heard a manager, I'm going to call my manager not a leader because I clearly don't get to his role. Why the hardest part of my job is the people them? Yeah, the people them. Them just want to sit down and work on process and system and work on machine and factory. No, so the people that, no, that's the hardest part. Systems run a business, but people use the systems, and leaders must lead the people. Companies don't succeed, people do. Another ingredient to high performance culture is transparency. Don't withhold your company's financial status. Withholding it is not an open, informed way to run your business. Providing transparency as to how the company is performing builds trust with your team. What are the goals for this year? Financial goals. Where are we now? How are we doing? And it keeps them informed and connected to the work, because I know that what I'm doing is helping to build the sales and the profits in the business. And you must be a leader that when people do well, they are compensated. So they must be informed and connected to the work that they do and how it relates to the bigger thinker. So just think, if the team is left in the dark about how the company is doing, how can you expect them to make sudden and dramatic improvements? Improvements against what? I don't even know how we're doing. What are we doing so far? What are we doing well? What are we not doing well? So sharing your company's numbers give your team members a sense of ownership. Yeah, man, we hit the number. If you're not sharing this information, then how you expect your employees to know what to aim for? So, every week I say to my business owner, share with the team what the goal is for the month. Every week, how we doing? And every day, what is the daily target you need to make? And how are we doing against the daily target? Having your employees work, not knowing to what end, is not a culture growing design. So try to build rapport by setting up quarterly meetings with your team. When I was at Citigroup, every single quarter at our team meeting, the financial controller, who is now the person who does my accounts for my company, the finance VP, would present the company's financials to the entire team. So we need to show them all angles of the company's health because they're a part of helping to produce the results. Now, nurture individuals and play to strengths. Remember, I said companies don't succeed, people do. And the other thing I want to say is that you cannot develop people in a group. So you cannot keep saying, well, I meet with the team quarterly or monthly. Yeah, man, we have team meeting. And I said, when else do you meet with the people individually? No, we don't have no time for that. I want you to understand something, folks. You cannot develop people in a group. You develop, coach, nurture one-on-one. And your role as a leader, the moment people are reporting to you, and which every business owner here is, and those who are managers and are people reporting to them, you are a leader of people. And your role is to coach, train, and develop the people who are reporting to you to achieve their highest potential. If you engage your team members and show them that you value them, and how I know you value me, because you spend time with me, you meet with me, you talk to me, not just passing by and say, hey, or criticize me about the work. So show them that you value them. And if they see that, then the majority is going to want to be a part of your company's future. Thinking of the future is a big picture look at the company, but you want to look at more than numbers and performance as an employee's role in your success. Our failure is one of the most important things to consider when trying to predict what the future holds. You want to just not focus on numbers. Not only that, you need to be looking at the performance as an employee's role in your success and make them feel a part of that growth. If there are roles to fill or projects that need a leader, then look within your team to find employees with the skills and ambitions to fill roles. I'm coaching IQ Optical, and right now their GM is someone who started within the company way back in, I think it was in 2011 or 13. And he has no reason to be the GM. One of their branch managers also came in entry level. She'll tell him I couldn't even speak properly. The leader just give me a chance. I come in and I'm working on the floor, And over the years with coaching, development, culture, team dynamic, she has no reason to be the manager of their Manor Park branch. So Find people within the organization with the skills and ambition, coach and develop them to fill the roles, play to their strengths, and nurture your team where? On the individual level. Notice the work that they're doing. Use them as a positive example and show them that they are valued. Valued. And how people know your value is because you spend time. After all, a high performance culture is sustained. And the word I want to say is sustained by employees that feel valued, that feel noticed. Boy, you should notice, please remember said to me, all my boss ever sees what me do wrong, Everything is criticized. He never ever see me do anything right. Me not seem to do anything right. So team members want to feel that they're valued, that they're seen. The movie, oh gosh, it just went out of my head. That one that had the blue people on it. Oh gosh. And she kept saying Avatar. I remember one of the things she says, I see you. She said to him, I see you. We need to let our team members know, I see you. I value you. And I nurture you, helping you to grow to be the best you that you can be. So when considering your company's purpose and performance, it's important to look at motivation. It doesn't matter whether your team member is in leadership or has just started at an entry level. Remember to say hire self-motivated people. They should be able to articulate how the work that they do plays into the broader company picture. So when they join, they must be self-motivated because they believe that this company is going to help them to achieve their personal goals, is going to help them to grow, because never expect that anybody is going to stay with you for life. Them the days are gone, right? But when they come in, also let them know, be informed that for an employee at whatever level, it is your job to make sure that they have the information necessary to understand the importance of their work and how it is working for the greater good. The block maker, the first two, obviously nobody did meet with him. All him know is that him out there in the field and make block. Me just have a job and I want to make money. But the third one, somebody brought him aside and say, what you're doing. Every day you come out here in the hot sun and you're making blocks. Let me tell you something. This is what you're building, this beautiful cathedral. They need to know. Some people don't feel, they think that only the salespeople or the people on the front are valued. I always say to everybody, every single person from you on the payroll has an important role to play. Any day the janitor don't clean the bathroom, any day that happen, you feel it. You understand? So everybody is necessary and they need to understand the importance of their work and how it is working for the greater good. There are some people who are internal, supporting those who are dealing with the persons on the external. A chain is as strong as the weakest link. Everybody is pulling together and nobody is less. There's no part of your body that is less important than the other. So what employees are not clear on what their work, when employees, are not clear on what their work means or how it affects others. So I remember we were using a delivery KPI called IFOTIS, which is for every delivery, for every job, especially for people in manufacturing, right? The way we measure every job is, was it done in full? 12 things supposed to be produced. On time, it must be delivered to the customer by 2 o'clock today. And to the quality that we promised the customer. And if all three cannot score 100, the whole job is zero in terms of that delivery KPI. And what happened is that the bearer who worked for this company is a printer. Him always, when him go to deliver the job, he must stop by Miss Mattie, or I'm going to give Miss Jane a lift up the road and I'll drop somebody down at Portmore. And then when you come back now, we say, what time was the job delivered? Oh, ma'am, we delivered it at 4 o'clock. By then, we did get it. And we say, no, we can't score 100% on this job because it was supposed to be delivered at 2 o'clock. So everybody needs to know how their actions impacts the delivery of the team. So when they are not clear or understand how important the role they play is, they're more likely to become disengaged. And a disengaged team member does not feed into a high performance culture. Them just do whatever they feel like, whenever they feel like. So every team member in every department needs to be clear on their role in the company, how they support the achievement of the vision. Knowledge. Too many people holding back on the knowledge, boy, them can't understand, them too uneducated, and can't read. I go to a session the other day, and I was so pleased to see this. I did a team alignment with this company, and the owner had to come to me and say, I just want you to know that the bearer is in the room, but he cannot read or write. I said, don't worry, I'm going to talk. I may have lots of slide and video, I'm going to get it. You understand? So knowledge gives purpose to the work being done, and having a sense of purpose fuels a sustained culture of productivity. Oh dear, I think I'm going to have to scene. Okay, let me mute everybody because, all right, good. All right. Okay. So another thing too is being clear about your goals and targets means that your team will be informed and therefore excited when you reach the milestones. That same team, when they hit their 40th target. I'll never forget when the owner brought everybody to the hotel for the annual meeting at the end of the year to share the results. And the surprise for the team was that she got Shelley and Fraser to come in and talk to them. They never knew it. So everybody got photo opportunity and everything. So when the team hits the numbers and help to achieve the targets, when you reach the milestones, let everybody know and celebrate. So we must take the time to celebrate the wins. Celebrating successes builds engagement. I know I have Maxine here and Dean's Pharmacy and what they did at the end of last year, and they had an amazing year. They all went up to Hollywell and big cook up, and the owners bring food and everything, and they had a fabulous time. Another company, them take the whole team gone to an all-inclusive weekend, right? So we must celebrate, build engagement, and it forms teams that are all working towards similar goals. So here are some fun ideas for celebrating. I gave you some. You can offer small bonuses. So, if we hit in the numbers, you give up a performance bonus. Have a barbecue, like I said, with Deans. They went up there, the owners, everybody, they had a fabulous time. Create a special award for high-performing departments. And then hold all company town hall meetings to commend your team on their success. Recognition in front of others is so important. Celebrate the successes. Very much. Now, the other thing is finding the right personality fit. Now, taking a good look at your company, the values and purpose, can happen on more micro levels as well. For instance, this is important when I said what zappers do? Them hire slow and them fire fast. They take their time. We don't understand this, Companies don't succeed, people do. We spend a lot of time, as I said, working on the ad, the furniture, the building, the sign, and then we rush to hire. It is important when hiring someone that you know exactly what you're looking for. Like when you was looking for your husband or your wife or a girlfriend or whatever, or a boyfriend, you sit down and think about what is my ideal guy or ideal girl? What is your ideal team player? What do they look like? So know exactly what you're looking for before you post an ad for the job. You must be crystal clear on what your goal is for hiring and the type of personality, So we have a tool called DISC. I soon go into it. And it's one of those things that help you to know, do I have the best fit for the job and for the culture of the company? So if you are considering which tool to use, the best tool that you can use is DISC. And will you be testing current employees to help them better play to their strengths, or using it to determine if a candidate is right for the position you want to fill? It's for both. But either way, it needs to be done. And you need to communicate to your entire team in the way that is best suited for their personality profile. So let's look at a very important test and tool that we use.
People are different. People are different, but they are predictably different. Do you believe that people are different? How many of you guys believe that people are different? Yes, of course, people are all different. How many of you believe that we can predict how someone will act or react in a given environment? Let me show you how we do that. In the general population, there are 4 types of people, and we call them dominant, or the D style, influencing, or the I style, stable, or steady, which is the S style, and then the C style is the compliant style. And those are the people that make up our world, and you see those people all the time. You see those people all the time. If you've ever walked up to an elevator and saw the guy that presses the button and then steps back and looks at the button again, and then he presses it, and then he taps it or holds it, because he thinks that as he presses that, the elevator must surely arrive faster. That is the D personality style. Dominant, direct, they're drivers. They want to control their environment. They want to do something to make something happen in their world. And so they will keep their thumb on that button until the elevator comes. Now, once the doors open and everyone walks in and they close, the one guy that turns around and starts talking to people, the guy that's smiling because once the doors close, he knows he has a captive audience, that is the I personality style. They're the influencers. They're the ones when the door opens, he goes, boom, 3rd floor, lingerie, enjoy your day. Those are the I's. Now the S personality style, they're stable, steady. They're very relational. They are people. Now they're the people that if the door's starting to close, but there's somebody that may or may not be wanting to get on the elevator, they'll stick their hand out. There's plenty of room, come on in, come on in. Now the D is back there going, oh, come on, man. I gotta go. Like, why are you waiting? And the yes is holding the door open. And if there's too many people, they'll say, you know what, I'll just take the stairs. So they'll get out, let somebody else go. You go on, it's okay. That's that S personality style. Very stable, steady. Now, the C's. The C personality style is the guy that's very quiet, off to the side, and he's standing there looking at the plaque that says maximum weight, 3,700 pounds. And he's calculating body weight. He's going, if one person gets on, I'm off. Like that's the guy. He's the guy that notices when the inspection date is due on the elevator. So those are the 4 personality styles. Now, D's make up about 3% of the population. 3%. Do you know why? Because any more than 3% and we would be at war all the time. So God in his wisdom said, we need those D's, we need those drivers, but let's keep them down to about 3% of the population. I's are about 11% of the population. And I's are fun to have around, but any more than 11% of the population, we would never get anything done. S's. S's make up 69% of the population. They are the majority of people that you're going to be dealing with. Very stable, steady. Another S word for you, status quo. They like things the way things are right now. They make up 69% of the population. C's, what percent of the population would C's be? Okay, the person that said 17%, that person's a C. Do you know why? Because they did the math. They added it up and subtracted from it, oh, 17. So there's the C. That's the C style. That's the C personality style. But it's important to know these personality styles. It's important to know, first of all, for you, what blend of those styles, because those blends are all in us. Any one of us can be any one of those styles. How many of you believe that your personality style can change based on your environment? Yeah, that's right. You know what? Your car is your environment. And so people who are very easygoing, very stable, steady, laid back, sometimes they get behind the wheel, they turn into a D. And then as soon as they lock the door, doot, doot, they're back to their, hi, how's everything? And so you see these people change their styles in the car. When you start to merge, the guy that gets in front or won't let you through, that's the D. That's the D style. He will take a dent before he lets you in front of him. He's like, I'll take the dent. You will, no. That's the D personality style. Now the I is the guy that's trying to get in because he didn't realize that they were merging. Do you know why? Because he's talking and, he's singing a song. He's looking, he's like, hey, that was a good song. Last time I was down here, I remember there's a great radio. Oh, darn, I got to merge. That's the I. And he's waving. Hey, can I come in? Hey, can I come in? Hey, can I come in? Now the S personality style, they're the people that eventually will let you in. And they're like, this isn't right, but look at that guy. He's obviously from out of town. All right, I'll let you in. Now that percentage of people probably goes down as construction goes up. Now the C's are rarely in that situation. You know why? Because those are the people that have planned their route. Well, you have to leave a half hour early because you're going to want to make sure you do that. So those are the personality styles. So people are different. They are predictably different.
And that's the word. They are predictably different. So you can intentionally build your team. So when hiring, we need to understand, who am I hiring? Because some jobs may need somebody to be more outgoing, whereas more reserved. People are on the discontinuum, either outgoing or reserved. And outgoing means they're active and fast-paced, and they feel they can control or change a situation. And then the reserved ones are slower paced, they're quiet and cautious, and they feel the lack of power to control or change a situation. And then you have those who are more task-oriented. Then you have those who are thinkers, those task-oriented. They like to be in control and they view situations as unfavorable. And then you have those who are people-oriented. And so they're concerned with feelings, view situations as favorable. Now, those who are outgoing and task-oriented are the dominant profile. Outgoing and people-oriented are the influence. Those who are more reserved and people-oriented are the steady ones, the S's. And then those who are reserved and task-oriented are the C's. Now, I want you to understand that when you have a team, you need to make sure you have the right people in the right seats on the bus with the right profile. And they need to understand each other to better communicate. So one is not just for hiring, but also the issue a lot of times is we tend to treat people the way we want to be treated. But we say with the DISC Platinum rule, we say treat people the way they want to be treated. So we have a DISC profiling tool. You can just get the assessment link. Kim, I'm going to ask you to put that in the chat right now. And Kim is our certified DISC practitioner. She's online here and she's going to put the link in there where you can actually purchase a DISC assessment. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is purchase one for yourself, because you need to know, first of all, what is your profile so that you can adjust your style of leadership and communication with your team members. And also for your existing team, do a DISC profile for everyone so they know what their profile is. And then look at what is the total distribution of your team. How many are there? I just did a session with a team, and there was the lead of the team who was a very high D, fast-paced, task-oriented, driven, want things to happen now. And he was pulling out his hair because everybody on the team, like, when he says no, everybody's like, yeah, slow, not wanting to change, status quo. Because remember, the majority of the population is what? S. Slow, steady, don't want to change. And so when he did the disc profile of his entire team, he realized he was the only D sticking out there in the wind by himself. And everybody else was a S and a C. And that is when he said, no, I know, but we can't get anything done. So what he had to learn how to do is, one, understand that that's the team that you have. Are they in the right fit? Are they in the right seats? And you have to learn now how to communicate with them and lead them. And they also needed to learn how to adapt their style to their job. So it's a huge, huge area. Very important for communication, for performance. So personality fit is very important. And when hiring, you need to know, do I have the right person? I see many people hiring people for sales who are C's. And what are C's? Reserved and task-oriented, extra introverted. And yet you want them to get up and call and go out and visit people. It's not going to happen. But you don't know because you haven't done the test. So I encourage you, contact Kimberly. Kimberly, put your email in as well, although I think everybody knows Kim, who's just been emailing you. But make sure, if you want to learn more about DISC, Kimberly is the lady. All right. Now, finally, you need to embrace your failures. Every business has experienced a product, an employee, or a service failure. If you haven't, then you're not taking enough risks. It comes with the territory. So one of the best ways to feed your company culture and to grow is to openly address your failures. I remember I had an event the other day. It was our send out for Coach Arlene, and we were celebrating our 12th anniversary of Action Coach in Jamaica. And I remember very high D business owner like myself, and she was listening to me and how I'd spoken, and I'd shared about some vulnerabilities that I had and how I needed the support of some of my team during a difficult time. And she said, something? Your authenticity, your willingness to be vulnerable and to show that, yes, you also fail at things. You have tried things that didn't work and you went through difficult times too, allowed me to realize that I also can be vulnerable and share, because we're not perfect. So be willing to openly address the times when things have not gone well. We call those failures, but all we say is you learn from them. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And be open to discussion and feedback from your team. I always end my session with, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that I can do better? I'm always asking, how did I do? What feedback is there for me in reviews? So failure can lead to more failure unless you're willing to learn, to look at each failure and use it to your advantage to help and to propel your company forward. And many times as leaders, we can't see ourselves. We can't see. So get feedback. Ask the team. They're in the trenches every day. You can't be just out without getting feedback from the team. What could we have done better? Anytime we do an event, what did we do well? What could we do better? How can we do things differently? Right? So always ask for feedback. And finally, feedback. Ask for feedback from your employees is a great way to best assess your own performance. And I'm talking when you're doing their performance review at the end, ask for feedback on you. It's a constructive way to help you to reflect, to grow and succeed as a leader. We have another tool called a Leadership 360. Kim, you can put that link in there. And I encourage you, when I got my first one, when I first did it, I was like devastated. This was when I was at Citibank. I mean, I thought I was doing really great until I got the review. But it wasn't to be devastated about it. It's to see that, remember, you can't see yourself. So a 360 is where you get feedback from those above you, your peers beside you, the people that report to you, and even customers or family members. So it's a great way to reflect on who I've been, to grow and to succeed. And a good time to ask for feedback is at the annual reviews, as I said, after or before company meetings, quarterly in your team meetings, and just in the moment. So keep in mind that your response after receiving the feedback is just as important as asking. Always just say thank you for your feedback. And remember, they're only trying to help by providing a different viewpoint. Yours is not always the best. So thank you for attending our webinar. We're going to do one. This is my commitment. Every month, I try to do a free webinar that's going to help you all on your journey. And it means a lot to be able to share this lesson with people who are ready to start making a difference. Remember, companies don't succeed, people do. So one of the things we say in Action Coach is that we choose, everybody is not for coaching. We want leaders who want to change, who want to learn and to grow and to make a difference for not only themselves, but for their incredible team. So thank you, and it's now time to get started. Thank you. Any questions? Oh, let me. All right, awesome. So thank you all. I know we went over a little time, but look out for the links again. Kim is going to send this recording link to all who attended, because many more people had registered and have not attended. So we'll still send the recording out. And remember, do your DISC assessment, be courageous enough to do your Leadership 360, and continue to build an amazing team. This is how we create a more abundant Jamaica. Have a wonderful day.